Words can't express or explain exactly how we feel on this day, but we don't expect for words to explain how we feel. We expect for God to be there with us in our hearts, in our souls, in our minds. And I can't say I know exactly what y'all going through because I don't. I can say that I can probably think about how you may be feeling, but I have no idea what you might be going through. So because of that, I ask that God fill the gaps that has been given. And I ask that God mend the hearts that has been broken, because I do not know what you're going through. I know I lost a father, but that still doesn't explain what y'all are going through. Because we have different feelings and different emotions and different things happens in our lives. So I do ask that God do mend those broken hearts where they are needed to be mended. For that being said, we are on lesson 10. And the topic of this lesson is parting the Red Sea. We are coming from Exodus, the 14th chapter, the 10th verse down through the 22nd verse. Today is November the 9th, the year of 2025, and this text is, the time is 1446 BC, and we are in Egypt. Today's aim, the facts, is to observe the power of God as he protected the Israelites. The principle is to understand that God will fight for his children. And the application is to realize that the same God who parted the Red Sea hears and answers our prayers. So God is in control of everything. God is in total and complete control. We are not seeing Sister Sherry in here this morning. She just went in this morning. So she was admitted this morning to start her procedure. She did told me that I can reach out, still call her phone. Her friend will have her phone, so we can reach out to her and find out what's going on. But we all know that God has everything taken care of already.
Amen.
We are in his hands. So God has given the doctors all the power, all the necessary tools and experience that they need to handle this situation. So this first verse, it says, and when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid, and the children of Israel cried out unto the Lord. And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Now, first off, Pharaoh drew nigh to the children of Israel. Okay, how's this? Aren't they supposed to be in Egypt, in captivity? How is Pharaoh's army attacking them? They're marching against them. How is this possible if they was already in Egypt, in captivity? Well, God had hardened Pharaoh's heart at one time or another. And Pharaoh let them go. Moses went and told him exactly what God says. He said, God told me to tell you that you need to let my people go, or else things was going to happen. So things happened. You know, they sent that plague up there and killed the firstborns. And Pharaoh's son was killed, because they didn't believe in the power of God. They took God for granted. But after this happened, Pharaoh was like, you know what? Let them go. So Pharaoh let them go. And, we going to continue to hear about Pharaoh's heart getting hardened because God hardened his heart and all this. But what I don't want you to take is, if God was able to do that, then why did God allow a lot of things to happen? I don't want you to take that out of that, because when it says that God hardened Pharaoh's heart, it did not mean that God fixed the situation for it to happen this way. What that means is God allowed the truth to show. That's what that means. So it's about like how you have people that laugh and smile in your face, but they really don't like you. So in other words, God just let the truth be seen. Pharaoh already hated them, so God just didn't want Pharaoh to be attacking them on blind's eye. If you're going to hate me in my face. That's what God was doing here. God allowed Pharaoh to be Pharaoh in their face and not behind their backs. And as Pharaoh was doing that, he was open. He was being seen for who he really was. It wasn't at the point to where, oh, Pharaoh is kind now, so he let us go. Pharaoh is okay. God still allowed them to see Pharaoh for who he was. That's what that meant. Now, it says that as the army was approaching them, they looked up and they saw the army coming, and they cried out to the Lord. They cried out to the Lord. They also cried out to the Lord when they was in captivity. They cried out to the Lord for somebody to come and rescue them out of this. Take us out of this prison. I no longer want to be here. They cried out. And the thing about that is exactly what we do. When things is going wrong in our lives, we have the ability to cry out to God for help. But when things is going good, nobody says anything. And when you start having issues, you want to complain. After God gave you exactly what you asked for. You want to complain about the situation that you are in now. After God gave you what you done asked for. So the thing is, when you ask for things from God and God give you what you asked for, the thing that messes us up in our blessings is when we ask God for things, we never ask God to bless us with the ability to handle it. Ask God for expensive houses and expensive cars, but you never ask for the ability to be able to take care of it. If you don't have that ability, then what you're asking for, you will soon lose. It says, and they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? As if Egypt wasn't bad enough. You take us away from Egypt. No, they asked God to remove them from this. Now they're putting blame on Moses. You brought us out here to die. We could have died there. Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is it not the word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. They said, didn't we tell you to leave us alone? Didn't we tell you to let us stay here because it was better for us to stay here than to go out into the wilderness? No, you asked for deliverance.
That's right.
God gave you deliverance. Now, what the problem here is they fell into comfort. They fell into comfort. This is their comfort zone. They knew what to expect. They knew what was going to happen every day. They were in their comfort zone. And most of the time you're looking at people that is living a good life as you may see. As you may see. Because you're on the outside looking in. As you may see, they're living life, they're calm, they're collected, nothing is bothering them, nothing is harming them. But what it really is they fell into comfort. These people that was stuck into Egypt in this captivity, what was happening was all of the torment and the punishment that they've been going through, it was repetitive. It was something that they knew was going to happen every day. So now that God sent them out into freedom, freedom is now tough because they're no longer doing what they were used to. And sometimes your comfort zone may look like faith, but it ain't faith. What it is fear that's dressed up like wisdom. Because you're used to this, you're doing this every day, you're constantly living the same life. People is looking at you like you're doing good, you're making it, everything is falling the way you want it to go, but you haven't stepped outside of your norm. Now that they're out into the wilderness, the Egyptians is now on their trail. See, when they was in prison, the Egyptians was just telling them what they needed to do. Beating them if they didn't do it. Now they don't have to listen to them, but now they're after them to kill them. They are free, but they don't know what freedom looks like. See, the Egyptians, they are now in captivity, whether they wanted to believe that or not. The Egyptians has done fell back into captivity because the things that they wasn't doing, now that they don't have their help, they have to do it. Sometimes you're not getting the blessings that God has for you, and you're not hearing the words from God because God is still in the last place that you left him, which is your Egypt. And your Egypt is your bondage. That's where you're stuck. That's where all your problems are. That's where all your situations are. That's where everything that is holding you back, that's where all of that still sits, in your Egypt. At some point, we're going to have to leave Egypt. And we're going to have to start living the life that God intended us to live. We tend to fall prey to a lot of beautiful sights and nice noise and people saying good things about us and always hearing good things about you. And we fall prey to that until when it gets to the point to where we have to go out there and do it on our own, we can't do it because we're stuck into what people say. I like what people said. So because I like what people said, I'm going to stand close to that. And I'm not going to do anything other than what they like. Because that's where we're stuck at. God don't want us to be stuck in that position. God wants us to move forward. Get out of Egypt. Get out of your captivity. When you get out of your captivity, then you can grow in the manner that God wants you to grow. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will shew to you the day. For the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, ye shall see them again no more forever. The Lord shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. That's your action. That is your action. That is the only thing that God asks you to do. Stand still. We can't see the works of God because we're still trying to do it ourselves. We got a lot of faith in God, but we don't have faith in what God can do. We ask God to deliver us from these bills. God, help me with these bills. Take us out of these bills. I don't want these bills in my life anymore. And as soon as we ask God for these things, we had enough of faith to believe that God can do it, but yet we're still worried about that bill. You're still worried about it. And God just told you to be still. Hold your peace. And let me fight your battle. But we are still running around trying to get it done. If God didn't say do anything, don't do nothing. There are certain times when God needs your assistance. When he needs your assistance, he'll ask for your assistance. Like with Moses, God could have spread the Red Sea by itself. But what did he tell Moses to do? Just stretch forth your hand. Just give you a detail to do. That's it. The other people, God just said, stand still. When he needs your assistance, he will ask for it. We fail on having 100% faith. We fail on that.
Yeah.
We believe in God, but we don't believe in all his works. We know that God can do this and that God can do that. But can he do it the way I need it done? Can he make it happen when I need it to happen? We stress about the wrong stuff. We stress about the wrong things.
Yep.
I need God to help me out. But you're looking at your situation. Now, this is the thing about your situation. We want God to fix our situation. But we don't want God to touch us.
Yeah.
You are a part of your situation. If it had not been for you, you wouldn't be in that situation. So if you don't allow God to touch your situation and touch you, your situation will never change. In order for you to see a change in your life, you have to change. And the only way that's going to happen is you got to allow God to touch you. God's got to move into your life. God can't just be around your life. He got to be a part of your life.
Amen.
You got to bring God in your life if you want to see a change in your situation. Because there's a lot of things that you would not be doing if God was a part of your life. How many of you has ever sinned? Yeah, I'm sure all of us had. We've all sinned. How many of us had fun while we was doing it? We all did, because if you're not going to have fun, why are you going to sin? Why are you going to do anything that you're not going to enjoy doing? We have to learn how to put God in our lives, because along with those sins happened because God wasn't a part of the life. Once you put God in your life, these situations will change. We're trying to change ourselves before we go to God, but God says, just come and let me do the work for you. Sit still and let me work it. And the Lord said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forward. Now God is giving them another command. The only thing I need them to do is go forward. Now, they cried out to God when they was in captivity. God, get us out of this. Get us out of this place. I don't want to be here. I want to be free. Get me out of here. Now that God made them free and they seen the Israelites, the Egyptians coming after them. Oh, God, save us. They still crying out to God, save me. Then they want to start crying because the situation isn't like they thought it was going to be. I want to go back the way I was. I don't like this situation. The same way you cried out to God when you needed help is the same way you need to cry out for God when you're out there.
Right.
Don't change your tone just because the situation changes. Understand the situation have to change if you allow God to come in. It's not going to stay the same if you allow God to come in, because God don't deal with negativity. Everything about God is pointing you in the road to perfection. There's nothing messed up in God's life. So if you allow God to come into your life, the things that are messed up or has been messed up, it will change. Now, it's told them, it says that they go forward. God said, make sure that they keep moving forward. Let them go forward. How are they going any place else? The Egyptians behind them. Mountains on this side. Mountains on this side. And the sea in front of us. How are we moving forward? Make it make sense. I don't know how we're going to do anything else if we can't go backwards, because that's where we don't want to be. They're going to kill us if we turn around. Yeah. We can't go to the left because we can't climb that mountain. I got babies over here. I got animals over here. They can't get up there. And there's a big old sea in front of us. We can't make that journey. That's what happens when you start trying to do stuff when only thing God told you to do was be still first so that he can come up with the plan. And then once he come up with the plan, he tell you what to do. Don't ever tell God he wrong. God done set this plan in motion. God says, okay, I got it figured out. Y'all go straight. Don't ask no questions. Just do it. You know, that's exactly how I was raised. You know, we never question mama or daddy. Whatever mama and daddy say do, you do it. It doesn't matter how ridiculous it may sound to you. If mama and daddy say do it, that's what you do. And you'll find that the reason they told you to do certain things, it will fold out in front of you. It will come clear in front of you as long as you do what they said do. Now, what happens if mom and daddy tell you to do something, and because you are smarter than mom and daddy, you decide to do it a different way? You might accomplish what you thought they wanted, but you missed the purpose. There are certain reasons why you have to do certain things in a certain order. And when you decide this, and you think that, you know what, we ain't got to do all of this just to get there. I don't have to go through all of this school to be the boss. I can be the boss without going to all this school. Yeah, you can. But there's a step that you miss. That step you missed is the understanding of everything. Only thing you got by moving up the ladder and getting there quickly is, well, I started and I finished. That's all you got. But when you take those extra steps and you go through the school, now you get the understanding of why you got these doing what they're doing. So when you move up, you get the understanding of each level why you have to do certain things because you took these proper steps. Mm-hmm. When God says move and you're standing still looking at problems in front of you, what you don't know is God has already removed the obstacles in front of you. That's why he's telling you to move. Mm-hmm. These obstacles won't bother you because God has already taken care of those. That's why he said move. But lift thou up thy rod and stretch out thine hand over the sea and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. That's what's going to happen. When God told Moses to stretch out your rod, God says, you lift up thy rod and stretch out thine hand over the sea and divide it. When Moses stretched out his arm and stretched out that rod, God divided the sea. Moses just had to do something. See, the results are still going to be the same. But what will be different is how God looks at you. That's what will be different. God could have already just took care of this by himself, but he wanted to see if he still had Moses on his side. If Moses was still believing in him. If Moses still know that God is the God of gods.
Being obedient.
Obedient one. That's what this is. This is being obedient. Do what is asked, and I'll continue to be your father. Do what I say, and I will continue to bless you with these things. The outcome's still going to be the same. Mm-hmm. It's like when God told Moses to talk to the rock. And instead of talking to the rock, Moses hit the rock.
Yeah.
The results was the same, but the outcome was different.
Yeah, what he did.
See, because Moses disobeyed God.
That's right.
The outcome was different. You're still going to get the same results. But now, you got a bad mark on God's side. Because you didn't do exactly what God said do. And I behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. And I will get me honor upon Pharaoh, and upon all his hosts, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. God, will harden the heart. No, God is not going to, God is not going to make Pharaoh be mean. God is just going to make it open. Pharaoh was already after him because he didn't like him. That's the reason y'all was in captivity, because Pharaoh didn't like you. Pharaoh had you doing things that he could have done, but he saved himself the stress and used you as the tool because he didn't like you. So it's already plain that Pharaoh didn't like the Israelites. Already clear. But you see what happened the first time when God tried to allow Pharaoh to be nice on his own? Pharaoh let him go, and then he went after him. So what God says, you know what? Let me go ahead and make it stick. I'm just going to let it be known of who he really is. He don't like y'all? Okay, let him follow you. I got something for you. I got a plan. This is his plan in motion. So what would have happened if the Israelites would have said, you know what? I ain't going through that water. I'll take my chances and go back this way. They would have been caught up. They'd have been killed because Pharaoh didn't like them. I'm giving up my slaves. I don't have anybody else to do the work that I need done. Let's go back out there and get them. Kill who fights back, bring back who's not fighting. But see, God says he will get his own honor from Pharaoh. God don't need you to give him his honor. God will get his own honor. Right. God just wants you to be a part of it. God wants you to go out there and continue doing his works, speaking his word, doing everything that he asked you to do so that you can be a part of it. He don't need you to gain his honor. He's going to get that anyway. Anytime somebody just wake up and take a deep breath, they done given God his honor. There is nothing that you can do to give God his honor. You can worship God all day long. That's not going to give God his honor. God's honor comes from you understanding that the things that you have in your life, you got it because of him. Right. Many of us don't understand that. Many of us believe that it was because that alarm clock that we set at 6 o'clock in the morning is the reason we got up in the morning. Who allowed you to hear it? Somebody had to wake the person up on the inside of you so that that person can get the outside person up.
That's right.
Who did it?
God.
There's no recharge ports in us. We go to bed feeling bad, wake up feeling good. How is that possible? Nobody but God. He don't need you to give him his honor. He just needs you to understand the reason why you are doing what you're doing. Mm-hmm. That's where he get his honor from. It's your understanding of him. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Lord, when I have gotten me honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. So when everything done went wrong with the Egyptians, catch it now. Y'all got to catch this. Mm-hmm. when everything has gone wrong with the Egyptians, that's when they said, uh-oh. At that point, it was too late. After God has already told you time and time again who he was, what you needed to do, how you need to act to make it into the kingdom, after he done told you these things from day one, you still haven't listened. Now you at the end of your ropes. Now God's going to show you who he really was. But at this point, it's too late. That's how many of us going to be. We going to get to that last day, and God's going to be like, well, I gave you all of this time, so now this is who I really am. Too late. You can't change who you are on the last day. No. If you want to be for God, and if you want all the benefits that God has to offer, you have to be that person from day one. You have to be the true Christian, not just the Christian that talks Christian. You have to be the one that talk it and live it. Most of us, I ain't say all of us, most of us, we talk Christianity. We teach Christianity. But what we don't teach is how to become a Christian. We teach all the things that Christians do. We teach the lives that Christians are supposed to live. We talk all about Jesus. We do all of this stuff, and we'll tell people about him and talk to God, and we do all of these things, but we never tell anybody how to become a Christian. What do I need to do to be a Christian? The talk that I'm talking is the walk I need to be walking. And if I'm only talking it, but I'm not walking it, I'm talking a Christian life, but I'm not living a Christian life. I got a church full of people. All of these people is listening to me talking about how Christians are supposed to be, but I not once told them that they're not supposed to be doing the things that they're doing. I'm letting them understand that when God says come as you are, that's exactly what he means. So I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing until God says, you know what, that's enough, and he is just going to take it away from me. God gave us all common sense. He gave us all common sense to know better. And when you know better, you're supposed to do better. So as Christians, you know, there's a lot of people that they claim to not be Christian. And they speak truthfully about themselves. They claim, well, I'm not Christian. They'll tell you that. I'm not Christian. And when they find out that you're Christian or hear about you're Christian or they think that you're Christian, the things that they will not do around you is amazing. So if they know better, why we don't know better? They find out that we Christian and they fight hard to not say cuss words around us. They fight hard to not disrespect us when they're around us. If they roll up beside us and they playing all they boom boom music around us, when they find out that they pulled up by us, they turn it down. Why? Because they know better. But yet you got a lot of us just talking about it and not telling people what they should be. You want to be a Christian, you got to stop going around the corner with that man wife. You got to stop going out to that club, spending all night long up there, and then using that as an excuse of why you couldn't make it to church on Sunday. Mm-hmm. You got to stop doing these things. You got to stop saying, I don't have to go to church on Sunday. I can get my word right here. You got to stop saying that. You got to stop living that life if you want to be a Christian. So we have to teach that. We can't just, hey, come join us in church and we talk all the goodness about everything and then send you on your way. We got to tell you the do's and the don'ts.
That's it.
And I can tell you I'm not completely on this. There's still things that I'm doing that I probably shouldn't be doing. When I find out that I'm not supposed to be doing it, I'm going to quit.
That's it.
stopped a lot of stuff that I was doing back in the day. When I found out you're not supposed to be living like that, I had to stop. I had to quit. Remember, it was almost 18 years ago when I quit smoking. I found out smoking wasn't right. I had to quit. When I tried to smoke another cigarette, guess what happened? God choked me. He choked me, and I had to put it down because I knew better. Anytime you mess up in your house, mom and daddy said, hey, you're not supposed to do that. If you do it and they catch you, you get punished.
That's right.
God told me to put it down. When he caught me, I got punished. We live the same life as Christians as we do non-Christians.
That's right.
The difference is, as non-Christians, you can care less what anybody thinks. I'm going to go and do it because I want to do it. I don't care what you say about it. But see, now as a Christian, God done told you to leave it alone. Mm-hmm. So we feel like we're sneaking around doing this and doing that. But we still know that God sees it. What we're sneaking from is not God. It's everybody else. That's who we hiding from, because we don't want people to tarnish the reputation that we are trying to build for ourselves. We're trying to build a reputation of, I'm a Christian and I'm a man of God. I'm a follower of God. I'm living the gospel, the God life. I'm living all these lives like that. We're trying to build that. So we do our dirt behind closed doors, away from people. So people don't see us. So we can step back out there into the world and people still saw what we closed off at the door. But God still see it. People don't have a heaven to put you in. But they sure can contribute to the hell that you go into. They can play a big part of that contribution because they are quick to give you a pat on the back for being them. Understand that everybody you roll with don't roll with you. You have to understand that. The people that you think are your friends are not really your friends.
That's right.
They are cool with you as long as the things that you're doing relates to them.
Yeah, they.
But soon as you step out on faith and have God in your life, you find that those that you thought was good with you, they are against you because you're not living the life that they intend to live. And the angel of God, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. And it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night and to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night. God took everything that was dark in your life. Your whole life that done turned dark before your eyes. Everything that started failing in front of you, God took that and removed it and put it behind you. Mm-hmm. And gave you nothing but light ahead. If you turn and look, you don't see nothing. Because God took all of your darkness and put it behind you. Like I said before, the reason we can't hear God speak to most of us is because we got God left in the last place we left him. When God took your darkness and put it behind you, if you decide to turn around and try to find your way through that darkness to get back what you lost, that's your fault. You still stuck in your problem because you decided to go back and find what God took from you. Many people look at growing as God adding something to your life. Because he added this to my life, I must be growing. Sometimes an addition is extra weight. Most of the time, growth is him taking stuff out of your life that has no place in your life. That's growth. By adding extra things, that's just adding extra weight. I got more things to deal with now. Yeah, I got the house that I wanted, but I also got problems too. I got the car that I wanted, but I also got problems too. But when God can remove the problems from your life, now you can start to grow. Because you don't have that extra weight. But what you don't have is the things that you can't use. You don't have the things that can't fit into this life. Those things that you traveled with while you was coming up to this, God says you didn't need that. And most of the stuff that he take from you, he take it because you couldn't handle that. He'll take it from you until you can handle it. If I had $1 million right now, tell y'all what I'd do. It might sound good to a lot of people, but I'm going to tell y'all what I would do if I had $1 million right now. I'll fix the church up. Buy my mama a car. Fix my mama house up. Pay for my house. Buy my daughters a house. Buy my daughters a car. Buy me a new car. Not once had you heard anything that I would do for the people around me. That's why I ain't got $1 million right now. Because God don't bless me to bless me. God blesses us to become a blessing. Mm-hmm. See, if I had $1 million, those are the things that I would do.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not how God wants us to think, though. Mm-hmm. Well, if you know that's how God wants you to think, then maybe God will give you the no, because inside of me, I know exactly what I would do if I had $1 million. And feeding these people out here ain't a part of it. I'm going to take care of everything around me first. See, God still got to fix me. There's still a lot of work to do with me. I ain't the only one that think like that. I'm just the only one that'll say it right now. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. Pay attention. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them all there on their right hand and on their left. Moses did what God said do and stretched out his hand. Mm-hmm. But who split the sea?
God.
Moses didn't do it. People say, well, I watched that movie and I seen Moses did that thing with the one and he split the sea. Moses did what God said do and stretched forth his hand. Mm-hmm. God did the work. God made the water separate. See, God says that he will get his honor from Pharaoh. So when he stretched forth his hand, well, when Moses stretched forth his hand and God split that sea, remember God already hardened Pharaoh's heart. The hearts of the Egyptians, all those hearts was hardened. So what was in their hearts and in their minds to already do, that's exactly what they was going to do. It wasn't no turning around from this. I'm going to get those Israelites. We going to get them and they going to come back with us. So they continued to do exactly what was stuck in their heart because God hardened their hearts exactly where it was. God didn't make them bad. God just put a pause on where their hearts were. They didn't like them. So God says, okay, let's put a pause on it right there and let them continue this journey. So what happened was they kept following them and following them and following them. And because the Israelites decided to listen to what God had to say and keep moving forward, when they went through the sea, the Egyptians' heart was hardened. The only thing that they can see is the Israelites. I'm going to get them. That's where they're going a whole while. The sea done opened up. Well, if they can do it, I can do it too. We going to go and get them. And at that moment when they went in there and the Israelites came out, God says, okay, let's close this up. Yep. And at that moment, Pharaoh knew who God was.
That's it.
But at that moment, it was too late.
That's it. That's what's right.
It was too late, because at that moment, all the things that God has been trying to get across to him. See, y'all can't think that God was just on Moses' side, because Pharaoh was also giving warnings. See, God don't just have a selected few that he decided to talk about who he is. God tried to get that information across to all of us, but there's only a selected few that truly believe.
Yeah. That's it.
But at that moment, Pharaoh, his armies, even the horses, they understood that's God. But when they found out that that was God, it was too late. What we can't do is we can't let time run out on us before we realize who God really is. I'm done with my lesson. I'm going to turn this into the hands of the superintendent.
God bless.